Welcome to Let the Ball Do the Work, the proper football podcast with me, Ben Littlemore, Sam Davey.
Hello.
And the little West Country imbecile that's Ollie Maynard.
How you doing?
Welcome to the very first episode of Let the Ball Do the Work. I'm Ben Littlemore, a second-year sports journalism student and big Arsenal fan. Sam, tell us a bit about you.
Hi, I'm Sam Davey. I'm a second-year football studies student, and I'm from Bristol, and I'm a massive Bristol City fan.
And you, Ollie?
Yeah, I'm Ollie Maynard, a massive Plymouth Argyle fan and a first-year football studies student.
Our first topic today is going to be about Jose Mourinho. Is he just a cultured Sam Allardyce?
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that. Good statement.
Sam?
Absolutely.
Got some stats together here. 2-1 defeat to Huddersfield at the weekend. Man United had 78% possession and lost.
Jeez.
Week before against Liverpool, 37% possession in the 0-0 draw. I don't think Mourinho knows how to play with dominant possession. He won the Champions League with Porto against Monaco in 2004, 45% possession for Porto in the final. 2010 with Inter Milan, 41% possession in the final. Last year's Europa League with United, 30.9% possession. Mourinho is not suited to a big club like that. There's an obligation to entertain, isn't there, at a club like Man United?
Absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah, I think as a fan of Man United, you are expected to play this attacking, attractive football, which the likes of Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, City are all playing.
I completely agree.
So, as a fan of a top club, what's more important, playing entertaining, attacking football or results?
I mean, as me supporting a top club,
You're out of this one, mate.
but I'd say it kind of needs a mixture because the way football's going, if you play this boring style of football and get the result, I think the fans will be happy on the short term. But the long term, I don't think it'll work for United. I think they do need to play a more attacking style of football.
I think it's unnecessary as well, isn't it? I don't think you can play a better style of football and be successful.
Yeah.
Of course.
Look at Barcelona, over 60% possession most weeks.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
Mourinho wouldn't know what to do.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Most teams with the 40% possession are the Palaces with the lesser players. Man United have Paul Pogba, Lukaku. They have an amazing team where I feel they need to play the style of football which their team suits.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but look at when Ferguson was in charge.
It was brilliant.
That was the football. That was the model. That's the model that any other
I think
team
he had the
would want
balance
to take.
perfect. They were always compact defensively, but
Exactly.
attacking brilliant. Whenever they'd go 2-1, 3-2 up, they'd still attack teams.
Exactly.
I really think Jose Mourinho is so similar to Sam Allardyce or Tony Pulis. He's just got world-class players in his team, so they sometimes make his football look slightly more attractive. Another stat here. First of all, average possession so far this season. Man United sits 6th underneath Southampton, as well as Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal and Man City. Last year, Man United away to the top 6. Away at Liverpool, 0-0, 35% possession. Away at Chelsea, they had 56% possession, but lost 4-0, because Mourinho doesn't know how to play like that.
Yeah.
Away at Spurs, 40% possession. Away at Man City, 31% possession. And away at Arsenal, they had 50% possession, but once again, they lost 2-0.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. Do you think Mourinho's right for a massive club like Man United or Real Madrid?
Well, looking at these stats, no.
I know people will
don't.
argue with it and say that it's a results business and that's what it's all about. And I'm not taking away, Mourinho's been a very, very successful manager. He's won Champions Leagues, he's won titles, and obviously it's worked for him what he's done. But I think in this day and age, I think people have found him out. And I don't think that's the way to go about playing football now. And football being the business that it is, and the franchises that Man United and them sort of clubs have, I think you have an obligation to entertain.
I completely agree. Look at Pep Guardiola. There we go.
Brilliant job.
Absolutely. That right there is that's all you have to say. And at this moment in time, Mourinho and Pep and Manchester United and Manchester City are worlds apart.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Spurs at the weekend as well at Old Trafford. That could be an interesting one. Do you think he'll go back to them ways? Can you see Man United getting more than 50% possession in that game?
I can see Man United letting Spurs let them have the ball and come at them, which is what it looks like they've done against all the big sides last season and have continued to do this season.
I think that's the only way Mourinho knows how to get results.
Yeah.
I don't think he has the confidence in himself as a manager to go out and try and completely wipe a team apart and play with 60% possession. And I know football isn't won on possession, and Leicester have shown that you can counter-attack and stuff. But I think to sustainably be at the top for a big club, I think you've got to play a better brand of football.
Definitely.
Man United's next games are home to Tottenham, are home to Benfica, away to Chelsea, and then at home to Newcastle. Some tough games there. I think we'll find out a little bit more about Man United then.
Yeah, I think we will.
I think the table look a little bit different after those games, in my opinion.
I definitely think it was a little bit false after the first 9 games. If you look at the teams they've been playing.
Yeah.
Exactly, they haven't been tested.
They haven't.
They haven't. Yeah, it's unbelievable that that Jose Mourinho, regarded as possibly one of the greatest managers of all time by some.
I think he's been found out.
I think he's been found out, and I think it's certainly looking at these stats, it's unbelievable.
Another really interesting stat I found out: Mourinho has never won a game when losing by 2 goals in the Premier League. All his time at Chelsea, his time at Man United, he has never won a game when his team has been 2 goals behind.
That's amazing.
And that's because a team's going to sit back on the 2-0 lead, and he hasn't got the creativity. He doesn't feed that creativity into his players that when they are dominating a game, they can create chances. He's set up for the counter-attack.
Yeah.
He sets up so similarly. I know this is the big games, he does it usually, but in them big games, he sets up as Sam Allardyce would when he goes to the Etihad.
He does. Yeah. Yeah, well...
If Sam Allardyce had an accent, he'd be in Mourinho's shoes.
Yeah. It's hard to argue.
I would like to see the interview of Sam Allardyce call himself the special one.
Yeah.
That would be viewing figures.
Definitely.
That's why Jose Mourinho doesn't want to fight Sam Allardyce. Do you remember he was saying, Big Sam would do me in, yeah. We found you out, Mourinho.
Yeah, we have.
Big Sam's onto you. Unbelievable scenes. Next up is Ollie's Lower League Roundup.
It's Ollie's Lower League Roundup.
Here we go, Ollie's Lower League Roundup. Over to you, Ollie.
Well, starting off with Plymouth Argyle.
As always.
Got a nice 1-0 win against Wimbledon. We've got a good little record there. We won last couple of times we've been there. Joel Grant scored the goal. First goal for Plymouth Argyle. Probably should get a few more under his belt. He's a very good player. Keep an eye out on him, Championship clubs. You've never guessed who got the assist.
I'm assuming Graham Carey.
He did indeed, Also, we had a debutant playing goal. It's already our 5th goalkeeper this season.
That's unbelievable.
Signed him on emergency loan from Norwich on Friday. And he had a good game, to be fair to him. He had 5 shots on target to do with an 18 crosses or corners. We signed 3 keepers. We had Luke McCormack start the season injured. Signed a player called Toloke injured. Then we signed Leatheran on a free.
Dropping
He's now
like flies.
injured, and now we've got this guy on emergency loan, Remy Matthews, and Mark Cooper, the youngster. But looking at the table, we're still bottom, unfortunately.
That was your first away win of the season, wasn't it?
It was indeed, yes. We are 5 points out, from the relegation zone, 20th. We've got 10 points, minus 12 goal difference after 15 games, which I don't think... It's not great, but it's kind of on and up. We're unbeaten in 3. And
that much to be proud about.
It's the little things.
It's a step in the right direction.
On Saturday, we're at home to Rochdale, who are on 17 points, or 17th with 16 points, sorry. I think win there, that closes the gap.
Can you stay up?
I believe we can. I think the players are starting to...
You've heard it here first.
...to gel a little bit. It's come into the season, let's see it. Other League 2 stories. Shrewsbury maintain their unbeaten run.
League 2 or League 1?
League 1, sorry.
Try to be factual.
I will. Unbeaten run with a 1-0 win over 11th place Fleetwood.
Okay.
That's factual.
Shrewsbury have been brilliant, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been really good. They were close to relegation last year, but they haven't really signed many big players.
Yeah, they've really come out of nowhere. I think they seem strange in the
Championship. Good gelling. And the other story, big 4-4 draw between Oldham and MK Dons, but Oldham, who are 20th, let a 4-2 lead slip in the last 10 minutes. Yeah, Stadium NK. On to League 2 in better news. Exeter have dropped down to 4th.
Another dig at Exeter.
Yeah, they lost at home to Port Vale, who are in 21st and struggling this year after going down. This is Exeter's 2nd loss in a row. So hopefully that can continue. And then the final story in League 2, Forest Green win again. Away to Stevenage, which is a good result considering they're pushing for playoffs. They're currently in 9th. They won 2-1, and this is 2 wins in a row with their 3rd win of the season.
Where are Forest Green in the league?
They are 2nd from bottom, 23rd.
Ooh.
Yeah, but in front of Chesterfield, but they're catching up.
Vegan club.
Very controversial. Love a lettuce.
That was Ollie's Lower League Roundup. In our next topic, we are going to discuss Kylian Mbappe winning FIFA's Golden Boy and how far England have fallen behind the French. First of all, Mbappe, how good can he be?
Oh, Ballon d'Or. When Messi and Ronaldo start to slide, I think he's going to be up there. Because this time a year ago, I think you'd struggle to find anyone who would have heard of him, or even nominate him for Europe Golden Boy with the amount of players that were coming through. So he's really coming leaps and bounds.
Can he deal with the pressure though? I mean, this time a year ago, we might have been saying Renato Sanchez could be a future Ballon d'Or winner.
Very true.
He's struggling to get in the Swansea team. Don't get me wrong, I think it's different. I think Mbappe's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Can he be better than Henry?
I think he needs to get out of that French league to do it. I know Paris Saint-Germain have got this project going, but I just don't think you're going to prove yourself in that league.
He's playing with, in my opinion, the second best player in the world in Neymar.
Yeah.
They've got a great team. I think PSG, I really think they can go far in this Champions League.
But tell you what, the French league is underrated in terms of its quality. It has a very rounded. Every club in that French side has what you could call
French league.
In the French league.
Sorry, had to get that in.
Cheers. What could be called a potential superstar.
Yeah.
There are a lot.
A lot of young talent. I think
a lot of young talent.
I mean, let's move on a little bit. We're sort of also going to discuss why in England we're not producing these great young players.
Yeah.
And I think something to do with that is the chances they're getting. If you look in them French sides, they're blood in their youth. Even Paris Saint-Germain are playing Kimpembe, Rabiot, Mbappe.
Exactly.
In England, these players aren't getting the chances. Is that why we're not producing the players like Kylian Mbappe in this country?
100%. I think if you look at all the big clubs and playing their youngsters, Germany, they kind of bring their youngsters through as a big squad. The France, I think it comes back, controversial, but it comes back to how the Premier League and the FA are split. They're not in unison, which is why that we're not creating these English players.
I think it's something to do with the pressure on managers, but I think managers have got to show some bravery.
Of course.
They've got to put their faith in these young players, because I'm not all right. Kylian Mbappe he's a special talent. We might not produce him, but we might have some brilliant players that just aren't getting a look in and are never going to be able to prove their potential if they're not given the chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the players we bring in from abroad as well into the Premier League, they're not great. I think we've got better on our doorstep.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Well, United spent how much on Lindelof as a young centre-half, and I guarantee in their academy they've got fantastic players.
They've got that, don't know how to pronounce his name,
Twanzebe.
He played yesterday.
He played against Arsenal last year.
Lineker was raving about him.
I was
Twitter,
impressed with him. I think just give these players the chance.
Yeah.
Managers have got to show bravery and give these.
Yeah.
Well, the only one that was giving them a chance was Koeman, and he's gone now. He was playing Calvert-Lewin, who I think is a really big talent.
Why is he not playing every week?
Yeah.
Everton, the strikers, they haven't got a striker. They haven't got a natural striker other than him.
Yeah.
And when I watched him play at Man City, he was their man of the match. I've watched him play another couple of games and I've been really impressed. Put your faith in him. Give him that chance.
Definitely.
It really annoys me. 2010 World Cup was the last time England outperformed France. France and England were both sort of in dire straits then. We had the whole Capello thing. They went out in the group stage. How much further have France come than us in the last 7 years?
It's incomparable.
They could name 3 lineups better than ours.
Yeah, 100%.
You're absolutely right.
So what are they doing differently? Is it just that they're playing their players?
It's the integration. It is. It's the integration from under 20s, under 21s, whatever it was called before a few years ago. It's the integration from then into their club first teams. They're getting a chance at first team level. They're showing what they can do, and they're good enough then to go on and play at international level. England, as proven, as we've talked about, we're not getting that. We're not. There's no integration from under 21 level or under 20 level to our first teams until they are deemed not good enough and then loaned out or sent down to a lower league.
Well, there's loads of players in that under 21s squad who have played over 50 games for the under 21s. And then they kind of just step off like Chalobah did.
Exactly.
Where's he gone now?
Is it not a case of just we haven't got the talent?
No, I don't believe that.
Because I'm just going to roll off a few names here
for
France's top young talent, 23 or under, all of these. You've got Mbappe, 18 years old. Ousmane Dembele, 20 years old. Adrien Rabiot, 22 years old. Kimpembe, 22 years old. Tolisso, 23. Koeman, 21. Lamar, Umtiti, Mendy, not Bendy. I don't know who this new lad is. He could be a good player. He'd probably get a chance in the French league. But I mean, some class talent there.
And I think if you look at it as well, with those players, a lot of those like Rabiot, Koeman, Tolisso, Mendy, I don't think many people would say they're on 23 and under.
You wouldn't think
just for how much exposure they've had in the football world. Whereas England players, if you named the best players 23 and under, I think you'd struggle to see.
Other than Rashford, I think.
Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, and I mean, not only that. Look at how many English youngsters do we have at PSG? How many do we have at Barcelona? How many do we have at Bayern Munich, Monaco?
I'm impressed with Jadon Sancho for making that move to Borussia Dortmund.
Exactly,
that's brave.
I think more of our players need to go abroad.
I completely agree.
I think if you look around the world, we're the only what we think a major force in football country that doesn't have players playing in other leagues.
Yeah.
And that means, I think it gives you more of a cultured background in terms of what our footballers can do. And I also think it gives you that unity when you come together, because you're sort of like happy to see everyone speaking the same language again.
Yeah.
And when you feel like a real squad when you come back together. Like when the Brazilians go back together and the Spanish get back together, they really unite.
It's a moment.
It worked for Eric Dyer when he moved to sport. He was at Sporting as a youngster and then moved to Tottenham. And I think that's worked for him. He's one of our better England players, in my opinion.
I think you're talking bollocks.
Eric, you don't like Eric Dyer?
I really don't like him. I'm
I think he's a
fed up of
quality player.
players. I'm fed up of players just taking the simple option and just keeping the ball and passing it along. I know you need to do that at times, but I want players to take a risk.
Yeah.
I want players to excite me. When I watch England, I'm so bored.
That's right. But also, it's a slight digression from what we're talking about. But if a youngster or more of our youngsters were to go out to places like Borussia Dortmund, to Bayern Munich, to clubs like this, they're not facing the British media. They're not facing the English media. They're not having that drilled in. They're not having
us in their ear.
Exactly.
Good point.
They're not. So
assuming Sancho's not listening from Germany.
No, if they're taken away, can they be brought back? It's a whole new experience for them.
Just one more thing. That England team that won the Under-20 World Cup, great feat for England and stuff. Only 7 of them have made a Premier League appearance so far this season.
Wow.
14 of that France Under-20 squad that were far less successful have made at least 2 appearances in either League One or the Bundesliga. How has that happened?
Speaks for itself, that.
We won the competition.
Yeah.
Why aren't these players playing? They need to be given an opportunity.
Yeah.
Three of the France Under-20 World Cup squad have played European football.
Yeah.
With Jean-Kevin Augustin, excuse my poor French accent, representing Leipzig in the Champions League.
Exactly. I think you've done well there, to be fair.
It's not a bad attempt, is it? Olive, would you like to have a go?
I really don't think it will work. I think we'll just have to, let's just assume
I think you missed my question, but
I thought you wanted to say his name.
Jean-Kevin Augustin.
Next up is Sam's Championship Roundup. Sam's Championship Roundup.
Yeah, this is my Championship Roundup. So we start today at Ashton Gate.
As always,
the home of my beloved Bristol City. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great result for us this last weekend. A 3-0 loss to Leeds at home.
Lost the momentum.
We have lost the momentum. Our 12-match unbeaten streak has unfortunately been ended. But you have to say, fair play Leeds. They've come out and come to Ashton Gate. It's not an easy place to come, and they've done us over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they have.
Bounce back though.
We have bounced back, and that's really something that I'm very, very happy with this season as a Bristol City fan. We have character in abundance. We have 11 players out there every single week that are proud to wear our shirt.
I mean, I'd love that at Arsenal.
And if Steve Lansdown came to me now and said, I want £1,000 for your next season ticket, I wouldn't think twice about handing it over.
Ooh.
Because
that is a content fan.
I'm a very content fan. And although we lost 3-0 at the weekend, we're a club progressing, we're doing the right things, and we've beaten Crystal Palace 4-1.
1-0 down as well then.
1-0 down.
It could have all turned wrong, but great character.
Character. Absolutely brilliant. So that's Bristol City.
Brilliant.
Moving on swiftly to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Are they buying the league?
100%.
I think it's unbelievable, isn't it, that the money's filtering down the league system now. I mean, 10 years, are people going to be buying League 2?
Well, it's
just going to keep filtering down, isn't it?
How can the smaller clubs in these
Plymouth
leagues
will probably hope not
compete? It's ridiculous. How are your Burton Albions going to compete with teams like this?
The teams that are coming up from League 1 aren't going to compete because in the Championship, they all get the parachute payments of what's helping them, and the teams like Burton that haven't done that, they can't compete at all.
They can't.
That's why it's such a big step from League 1 to to Championship.
Yeah,
I think it's a real. We've never seen anything like this, have we? Actually, Notts County tried it, didn't they?
Oh,
remember when they bought Sol Campbell?
Yeah,
but I
don't think that deal is just as ridiculous as that Ruben Neves deal. It was linked with Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man United, and goes to Wolves for 18.5 million.
It's amazing,
ridiculous.
But then if you look at a side like Bristol City, we've not been into the Premier League, so we can't take advantage of any parachute payment. Our record signing is for Mara Zizou, 5.3 million. We sold Jonathan Kodja 2 seasons ago to Villa for £15 million.
Ridiculous.
Teams that haven't experienced Premier League football cannot compete with that type of money nowadays. It's impossible.
What else has been going on?
Sheffield United.
Doing well.
Big fan of Chris Wilder.
Yeah,
I am as well. They are playing brilliant football. And to come up from League One and assert yourself in the Championship like they've done, it's one of the hardest leagues in the world, the Championship.
Well, they're in League One for a year.
Yeah,
they had
a long. The Sheffield United fans had a hard time of it in League
They
One.
have.
It's not that they
there for
were
a while.
yo-yoing.
They have.
And he's brought them on leaps and bounds.
They have. They're playing without fear. They're coming out on there, but no matter who they're playing, it doesn't matter who they're playing. They're going out and they're playing the same every week.
I respect that.
And it's fantastic.
Could he be linked with a Prem job?
Could he?
Potentially, there's a couple up available at the moment.
Yeah,
Definitely. I personally think he could be suited up there, and I think if he can consistently get his teams to play like he's instilling at Sheffield United, I think fair play to him. And
Man
the
United
sky's the limit.
fans, should he replace Mourinho? Put that
that'd
out
be
there.
fantastic.
Just putting that out there. That was Sam's Championship Roundup.
Earlier on, I caught up with Southampton legend Matt Le Tissier and former Premier League referee Keith Hackett, among others, to get to the real root of the diving problem tarnishing football. Going down seems to no longer be a shock in football, but something attempted on a regular basis, as diving moves from the swimming bars into the world's most popular game.
I think that is absolutely despicable by Sergio Ramos. That's one of the worst things I've ever seen on a football pitch. That is shocking.
It's becoming a consistent occurrence in Europe's top leagues, with some even considering it to be a skill.
There is contact, but if I contacted my kid in the garden, you mess around, you trip him up, I'd be amazed if he got that eye off the floor. It's a skill in itself, I find now. It's quite impressive how these players fall. I mean, it's taken it to a new level. Maybe we'll have marks out of 10.
But should players now go down when they feel contact? Surely they are at a disadvantage otherwise. Southampton legend Matt Le Tissier says,
I guess it's all to do with how honest you are as a player and as a person, I guess. You know if there's enough contact there that's going to make you fall over. You know if there's contact there, and only the person himself knows if that contact is enough to put him off balance.
With 23 players booked for simulation in the Premier League last year, the European culture for winning fouls is certainly transferring to England. We also got a referee's perspective on the controversy, speaking to former Premier League ref Keith Hackett.
We can't be exonerated from the position that we're in. Referees failure to detect simulation and punish it accordingly. And we have seen even this season some real exaggerated acts of simulation that have gone unpunished. In this situation, when a player is fouled in the penalty area, unless that ball's going into the back of the net, give the penalty.
With young kids idolising the big stars, is their diving culture filtering down to youth and amateur level? Here's what grassroots referee George Adams had to say.
I started refereeing sort of 5-6 years ago, and in that 5-6 years, the amount of diving's gone up massively, and it's probably because it's spoken about so much in the media and stuff, youngsters get a hold of that and see it and then try it, but the amount of cases I get in the games have gone up massively.
Is football heading for pundits soon complementing sophisticated attempts of falling over? Does more need to be done to stamp it out, or will we be facing diving as part of the future?
Name the lineup.
Hello, I'm Alex, the producer of the show, and I'll present the name of the lineup each week. This is the quiz where I give Ben, Sam and Ollie 60 seconds to name the starting 11 from a major football final. There'll be a similar era each week. This week is going to be 21st century FA Cup winners, and whichever player names the most correct answers will be the winner. Okay, we'll start off with Ollie.
How you doing?
You have 1 minute to name me the Portsmouth lineup from the 2008 FA Cup final.
All right.
Starting from now.
Right, okay. 2008 FA Cup final in goal for Portsmouth. Our defence, I know they had Distan. He would have been there. They would have had their strikers. I remember for a fact Carney played. Sylvain Distan at the back. Noel Pamero, he might have been there. Montari would have been in midfield. I'm pretty sure they would have played a 4-3-3 under Harry Redknapp then. Cranchar would have played. Who would have been in goal? No, he wouldn't have been there. But it would have been David James, wouldn't it? Yes. David James. This was against Cardiff, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Carney, maybe Benjani would have been there. I'm going to do a 4-3-3, I think. So I got.
You can only name 11 players.
Yeah, no, I'm doing a 4-3-3 formation. Cranchar, Montari. I think maybe David. Oh, Davis. It's Davis. Sean Davis, he would have played, I think, maybe. I think he was around there then. One more striker and two more defenders.
You got
Distan,
5 seconds.
Sol Campbell, of course he would have played. That was Pamero would have been right back, left back. Any of the
And that's it.
Ooh, how many have I got? 1, 2,
Alright,
3,
let's
4,
see.
5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9 written down.
You've got 9 written down.
Yeah.
Right, all right. Start from the back. Who have you got
Okay, in goal, I've gone for David James.
David James, you're very correct.
For right back, I've got Noel Pamero.
Nope.
Okay, for 2 centre backs, I have Sylvain Distan.
Yep.
And Sol Campbell.
Yep.
I don't have right back or left back. I went for 3 in midfield. I went for Nico Kranjčar.
Yep.
Sully Montari.
Yep.
And Sean Davis.
Nope.
And then I've only got 2 at the front, which is Carney.
Yep.
And Benjani.
No, Benjani did not start.
Oh,
No.
okay. So how many is that?
Okay, so you've got 6 right.
Okay.
The team is David James, Glenn Johnson,
Oh, of course.
Sol Campbell,
Yeah.
Sylvain Distan,
Yeah.
Herman Haridason,
Oh, yeah. We never got that.
Lassana Diarra,
Oh, yeah, okay.
John Utaka,
Utaka, yeah, that's another attacker.
Pedro Mendes.
Was he still around then?
He was. Nico Kranjčar,
Yeah.
Sully Montari,
Yeah.
and of course Nwankwo Kanu.
Not bad effort, I think. Was that 6 right?
Not a bad effort. That's 6 right.
I'll take that.
Okay, next up is Ben. Your team is the runner-up of the 2011 FA Cup final, Stoke City.
That's a tough one.
Your time starts now.
That is a tough one. Right, must have been Begovic in goal. Surely, was it given? Right, Wilkinson. They had so many redundant players. Wilson, Shawcross would have played. Left back, Shotton might have been in there. Delap, Edrington. Centre mids for Stoke. Centre mid. Who was Adam there? Adam wouldn't have been there in 2000. When was it? 2011. 2011. How long have I got left?
You've got 20 seconds.
Ooh, I'm struggling centre mids. What's that? Glenn Whelan. How many players have I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 seconds.
I can't think of a centre mid.
And that's your time.
Right, I've got 11, but
Cool.
I'm not putting much faith in myself here.
All right. Let's start from the back then. Who's in goal?
Was it Begovic?
Was not.
Was it given?
It's Thomas Sorensen.
Oh, Sorensen stabbed me in the back.
Yeah. Right back.
Well, I'm just going to go through the defence here.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah,
sure
go
who plays
through the
where.
defence. Yeah,
Right,
go for it.
Wilkinson.
Yep.
What a shout. Wilson.
Yep.
Shawcross.
Yep.
Shotton.
No.
Right, a few midfielders to chuck at you.
Okay.
Glenn Whelan.
Glenn Whelan did play, yep.
Good man. Rory Delap.
Delap also, yep.
And Zonzi.
And Zonzi, no.
Balls. Edrington.
Yes.
Oh, Matthew Edrington. I always used to get him on fantasy football for
Yeah.
some reason. Walters.
No.
Walters has done me over.
Walters has done you over.
Crouch.
No.
That's it for me, so...
That's it. That's all. Okay, well, in goal, as I said, was Sorensen.
How many did I get?
You got 7.
7.
Yeah, 7.
I ended up with 6.
Oh, well, in goal was Sorensen. Right back, Wilkinson, you said, yeah.
Yeah.
Shawcross. Robert Huth.
Oh, Robert Huth,
Yeah.
of course.
Mark Wilson. You said
Yeah.
that, didn't you?
Got that.
Jermaine Pennant.
Oh, should have known that.
Glenn Whelan.
Yeah.
Rory Delap. Matthew Etherington. And Kenwyn Jones.
Kenwyn Jones, as I live and breathe. So I got 6 or 7.
You got, hold on. Wilkinson, yeah.
Wilson.
Shawcross, yeah. Wilson, yeah. You got Whelan, didn't you?
Yeah.
Delap.
And Etherington.
And Etherington. Oh, my bad. You got 6.
I'll take the extra point if you want to give it to me, but...
yeah. Well, 6 it is. Okay, now on to Sam. And you've got the 2005 FA Cup runners-up, who are Man United.
Okay.
And your time will start now.
Okay, so I think I really might be doing myself over here. Was Fabian? I'm going to go Fabian Barthez, Gary Neville, Rio. Who'd have played left back in 2005? I don't know. Moving on. Right, Giggs, Scholes. Ronaldo.
Not saying anything.
Van Nistelrooy.
Got 10 seconds.
Who played at the back? Rio. That's pathetic. Pathetic attempt.
And that's your time.
That's pathetic. I should be.
Right.
I'm sorry, listeners.
All right, so start from the goalkeeper. Yeah.
Right, Fabian Barthez.
No, it was not. It was Roy Carroll.
Roy
Carroll.
Carroll.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it was as well. Oh,
Okay, and next.
Right, Gary Neville.
No, it was not. Gary Neville didn't start.
Who started?
Well, John O'Shea started right back.
This is mental.
Yeah.
Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, he did play.
Thank you.
Give you that one.
Ryan Giggs.
Giggs didn't either. No.
Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes did.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo did, yeah.
Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
Right, put me out of my misery. Who played it?
Is that what you got, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, Roy Carroll played a goal. John O'Shea, Rio Ferdinand, Wes Brown, Mikel Silvestre at left back.
Oh, that's a really messed up back line.
It's weird, isn't it? Darren Fletcher, Roy Keane.
Oh my God, possibly my favourite player of all time.
Paul Scholes, who got booked in the first minute. Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney, and Ruud van Nistelrooy.
I mean, there's not much that has to be said there, is there?
There's not much to say.
Other than the fact that was pathetic. I apologise to every Manchester United listener.
We'll leave it at that. All right, they're all back in the room, and we must clarify that after the 8th episode, the person in first will get 2 crates, one from each of the other contestants. Okay, we'll start off. The person in third place had the Man United runners-up side in 2005, and they got 4 correct. And then
Who was that?
that was Sam Davey.
Second
He,
place. Good point. Take that.
All right.
Harder than it sounds, the team.
Okay.
And then
Not the best score, Sam, but you haven't embarrassed yourself too much.
I have. It's pathetic showing.
wasn't a fan of that.
Who's in second?
There is no second. There's 2 firsts.
Oh.
We're going to have a tiebreaker. Okay, we're going to a tiebreaker. We're going to ask them to both guess the attendance of a certain game from this weekend, and whoever gets closest wins the points. Okay, so the game is going to be Stoke against Bournemouth.
Oh.
What do you reckon, boys?
Okay. That's a tough one.
Intentionally. Ben went for 31,476. And Ollie went for 28,736.
I don't want to go over 30.
The correct attendance was 29,500.
Yes, that's surely me, isn't it?
That's Ollie.
Yes,
Ollie wins it.
yes, thank you.
Absolutely slimed a point there.
I didn't want to go over 30,000. That was my logic.
Our next topic is relating to Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp. Does he avoid pressure due to his personality?
Yeah, I think the way he represents himself in the media does mean he gets gets away with a lot more than some Premier League managers. I've got a couple of Jurgen Klopp quotes taken from the after the Spurs game and before the game against Maribor.
Okay, go on.
Talking about the Liverpool Spurs game, he said, and I quote, "If I was on the pitch in trainers, their first goal wouldn't have happened."
I mean, he's not done himself any favours with that one, has
No,
he?
I think that brings down the confidence of Dejan Lovren, who's under a lot of stick anyway.
Yeah.
And to say that he would have done a better job, I just don't think that's...
He did defend Lovren, though, didn't he? Saying that 1 in 500 Lovren wins that header. But, I mean...
But then you contradict yourself with that
Lovren's
quote
made
there.
loads of mistakes this season already.
And he's on 100 grand a week, and Toby Alderweireld's only on 50.
If that's true, that's
That
madness.
that is true.
It's mind-blowing.
And also with the Maribor one, when described before the Champions League game against Maribor, he was described as a coach who the fans love but fails to win trophies. Klopp replied, "It sounds like I'm a charismatic, funny loser. Thank you for that, no comment." Again, I just think it's just such a pointless... It's just it's a humorous, almost banterous reply when I don't think... I think he's not in position to say those quotes with his Liverpool team playing the way they are.
When Klopp first came over, I was one of the people that was a massive fan of him because
I was
at
as
Arsenal
well.
we've lacked passion really for a long time, and it was great to see that sort of passion on the sideline. But I'm bored of him.
It's comedic.
I am bored of him now.
I am, yeah.
I think it's just been this. I really think he avoids pressure because of the way he carries himself. And I think he gets. I mean, they're 3 points behind Arsenal. Arsenal are in a reported crisis.
Yeah.
They're 3 points behind Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Newcastle are ahead of them.
Yeah, well, exactly. I find it very, very hard to dislike him as a man. I do think he is just a nice guy.
I don't think he is anymore.
But now, I should clear that up. When he first came over, this is what I thought. I thought he's a nice guy. I find it very hard not to like him. But now it's kind of, in a way, he's using that to his advantage. He's using the public perception to his advantage to get some sort of to take the pressure off.
Conte is equally as passionate as him. Whereas Conte, I think, gets away with it because of the results he's given.
I mean, Conte came over and won the Premier League in his first season.
Exactly. Klopp lost the Europa League final.
Klopp's had so much time to sort out the defence, and it's the same problems.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the reason for the Wenger out brigade. Is because it's the same problems.
Yeah.
It's the same problems at Liverpool, and I think people are starting to find him out a little bit. I'm not saying Klopp's not a great manager. I do like Klopp. I love his style of football. I love that pressing, attacking style. But Brendan Rodgers, who was hounded out of Liverpool, if you look at his record, they both played 77 games. Well, they both managed 77 games, should I say, for Liverpool. Klopp's won 38. Rodgers has won 43. Klopp's lost more. He's drawn more. He's scored less goals. He's conceded more goals. He's got less points. You know,
it's again, that same perception has come from his time at Borussia Dortmund, and he's brought it over with him. Brendan Rodgers was he at Swansea before he came to Liverpool?
Yes, indeed.
He was at Swansea, so there we go. We're not going to give Rodgers much time, and we're not going to give him much of a chance.
Do you think he's living off his reputation a little bit?
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
I'm not saying he should be sacked. I don't think he should, but the pressure that's talked about of other managers in the Premier League, I think he should be up there in terms of that. I'm not saying the media should hound every manager. I don't think that's right, but I think he gets away with it a lot more than other managers.
He doesn't talk like he's under pressure, does he?
His personality.
No, he doesn't. And Liverpool have had this thing with their transfer goings on in the summer, and they've put all of their eggs in one basket trying to get Van Dijk. It hasn't happened.
That was unbelievable.
They've paid for it.
Why have they not lined someone else up? There is a lot of centre halves out there that would improve Liverpool's team.
Yeah,
it is.
It's not like they can't find anyone that can improve that side. They've got two centre backs that aren't good enough.
100.
There is centre backs out there that will improve that team.
Yeah.
Why have they not lined someone up? Even so, when it got to the 25th of September, when there was only 6 or 7 days left, they could go and buy someone else.
Exactly. They've got Matip, Lovren. I hold no confidence in either of them, nor do I hold any. They have Klavan as a backup.
It's useless.
The whole Moreno thing as well. To drop your left back the previous season for a central midfielder, their confidence is on the ground. And then he's been brought back in over the left back signed. I know he's had some injuries, and Milner's out the team again because he's refusing to play there. Moreno can't be confident. It's going to make him a worse player than he previously was.
Definitely.
Why has that not been addressed?
You can't play fullback, Moreno.
No,
he's a wing back.
Exactly, but it will be interesting to see if especially with how brutal our media can be, if Liverpool continue this way, will things start to change? Will we see a different side to Klopp? I don't know.
I think he needs to be a bit more ruthless. He just seems to be coasting along, saying the Liverpool fans love me, the board loves me. And I just think he's had enough time to Liverpool to kind of warrant, well, what have you done? He's brought a new style of football, but ultimately he's gone back to Champions League fair play, but ultimately the results aren't showing it.
Has he taken them further? Has he taken them further since Brendan Rodgers?
Well, no.
Looking at the stats, clearly not.
They both had a season in the Champions League. Rodgers got them second. He got them to that season where they were so close to winning the Premier League title.
Exactly.
But that style was a similar style to Klopp, which is we'll score more goals than you. But this season it hasn't happened because they've conceded 16 and only scored 14.
Exactly. But you can't really fault Liverpool's attacking prowess.
No, it's been really good.
No, yeah.
Because it is very good. But defensively, they are down there with, I would say, the bottom three defences in the league.
I think they're certainly around that bracket.
They are very, very poor.
Looking at their next games, with no disrespect to their opponents, though, he might be able to pull himself out a bit. Huddersfield at home, Maribor at home, West Ham away, Southampton at home.
I think West
in
Ham's
4
going
games'
to get
time, if they pick up if they win them 4 games, is Klopp completely gone from the media's pressure?
And then there'll be a little run again where it'll be exactly the same situation.
Yeah. But Liverpool-Huddersfield, very interesting game. Wagner against
Klopp. Yeah.
And Huddersfield, they can really cause an upset. So, they'll be going to Anfield, definitely putting some pressure on there.
Next up, don't talk shit.
Stop talking fucking shit, Ollie. You're talking absolute bollocks again.
This is our regular feature, Don't Talk Shit. Ollie has 1 minute to talk about whatever subject he wants without interruption. Ollie, don't talk shit.
This is Don't Talk Shit. This is a problem, and I wouldn't say a problem, I'd say more of an annoyance that has really been affecting me for a good couple of years. It's cocktail sausages. Now, I find them just the most pointless thing in the world. Because whenever I'm at a buffet or a party and there are cocktail sausages, people will take a handful of cocktail sausages. Now, if you take a handful of cocktail sausages, that just becomes one sausage. You might as well just cook one sausage. Now, cocktail sausages, I've only ever seen them come in one flavour, which is just normal sausage. Whereas a big sausage, you can get Bramley pork and apple sausage, which is my favourite, chorizo. So I believe that it's just such a pointless thing because people take a handful, which becomes one sausage.
That was absolute bollocks.
What are you
absolute
talking
bollocks.
about?
No, listen.
You can get different flavoured cocktail sausages.
Where?
Why is it annoying you that someone's taken a handful?
Well, because why not just take one sausage instead of a handful of
Ollie.
cocktail? It just seems like a waste.
Because it's easy to make. You don't have to cook them. That's
they
why they're in
are
a buffet.
cooked. No, but
they're
cooked.
pre-cooked,
Exactly.
aren't they?
Thank you.
Well, why not?
It's a buffet,
why
Ollie.
aren't we buying? Why aren't there pre-cooked sausages available to buy?
Why are you saying when I go to a buffet, like that's a regular thing for you? Why are you swanning to buffets all the
Well,
time?
my family like an if it's party.
A what?
If it's there, we eat it. So we always have cocktail sausages.
You
available.
are full of shite.
No, I think it's a relatable thing. I just think it's just so
Loads
stupid.
of people love cocktail sausages.
Yeah, but why not have one big sausage?
Because
Does
can
anyone
you
have
buy a pre-cooked sausage?
Does anyone have? Well, we should. Does anyone have a cocktail sausage with their fry up? No, because they want real sausages.
Obviously they don't, because it's not the right place for it, is it? No one
There
has bite-sized sausage
isn't-
rolls with their fry up.
There isn't a place for cocktail sausages in society.
You're talking bollocks.
Oh, darling, have you got any other business?
Now we are doing our feature, Any Other Business, where we discuss all the stories that interested us over the week. We're going to start off with managerial changes. First of all, Koeman sacked earlier on in the week. Do we feel that was the right decision?
Yeah, I think it was time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think a lot of managerial sackings now aren't justified, but I think you have to say that was one that probably was.
Definitely. Yeah, when the fans start to lose faith, I think there's not much you can argue with, is there?
They just didn't look like a team that were capable of getting any results.
It seemed like there was no progression.
No, exactly. For a big overhaul.
The style of football was poor, it was negative,
Yeah.
The results were poor. They'd spent a lot of money, and I know they had some hard games, but didn't really look like they were getting anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you can turn around and say Koeman wasn't given a chance. He's been given plenty chance, and it just hasn't been working out. I think it was the right time and the right decision from Everton.
I agree. Leicester, obviously sacking Shakespeare last week, they've appointed Claude Puel, former Southampton manager. What's our take on that?
Yeah, I'm liking that one. I think, the way he played at Southampton, I just think it'll work at Leicester. I think he's the type of manager that will get something out of Leicester, which is it's a defensive style, but I think with Leicester's team, I think that's what it needs to be.
Yeah,
I think that Puel's sacking at Southampton was one that wasn't justified.
I completely agree.
I know the football wasn't necessarily always attacking, but I mean, 8th and a League Cup final.
What more can
for
you
me
ask for?
as a Southampton fan? I'm not. I'm an Arsenal fan. If I was a Southampton fan, I would be happier with a trip to Wembley and finishing 15th than finishing 8th.
Definitely.
There's no point, is there? They finished 8th and got to that cup final.
Yeah.
I think he should have been given more time.
I think so as well, and I think that fans do are starting to complain about managers not being given enough time and things like this. Where if fans are getting on their managers' backs for finishing 8th and taking you to a League Cup final, there's something to be said for that. I mean, it's to me that's
and
not
the style
right.
of football I don't think was as poor as people made out.
No.
Because I know we were criticising Mourinho for that style of football, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was as bad. And that's Southampton. It's not as big a club as Man United, so
No.
there's not that real obligation.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm glad to see him back in the Premier League.
Definitely.
Next up, Ronaldo wins the FIFA Player of the Year over Lionel Messi. A decision I'm not happy with.
Nor am I.
No.
I really do think that FIFA and UEFA need to look at what's required to win the Ballon d'Or and FIFA Player of the Year. Is it an individual award or is it a team award?
Yeah.
Because Cristiano Ronaldo, amazing player, but plays in the best team in the world over the last year. Real Madrid are the best team in the world.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi, Barcelona aren't at the level of Real Madrid. I know they're higher in the league at the moment, but I don't think they're at that level. But he's the best player. He single-handedly took Argentina. He had the weight of a nation on his shoulders for that game.
It's enough for me.
There was so much pressure on him. He would have been torn apart if they hadn't qualified. He goes and scores a hat-trick. He scored more goals than Ronaldo. He got more assists than Ronaldo this year. I think the award should have been his.
Well, in those award ceremonies as well, De Gea wasn't even voted for the goalkeeper of the year. He wasn't in the shortlist of 10 goalkeepers.
He wasn't in the shortlist.
Not at all. No one voted for him. That tells me a lot about
some
FIFA.
corruption, isn't there?
100%.
Has to be.
That's what tells me that result is a joke.
We put a poll on our Twitter to see who should have won the FIFA Player of the Year. Cristiano Ronaldo got just 17% of the votes. 67% of you voted for Lionel Messi. Neymar on 6% and someone else on 10%.
That was Graham Carey, by the way.
Certainly not.
Unbelievable. I think Messi is the best player I've ever seen, and I think
Definitely.
the award should have been his.
I completely agree.
Right, next we're going to have a little look ahead to the big fight of the weekend.
Yeah.
Joshua versus Takam, 11 p.m. The Millennium Stadium. What do we think about that?
I think it's another one in the win column for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
3
I think
rounds.
it's gonna be, isn't it?
He'll finish it in 3
I think
rounds.
it's going to be an easy one. I think it's a building process for Joshua now. I think it's building up
Definitely.
the fight slowly and building up the franchise that he's created around himself.
Yeah. I mean, for me, this one is now become a filler.
I agree.
You know, is it Pulev? Pulev, he pulled out.
Pulled out, yeah.
Pulled out, and Takam has come in.
He's not got a bad record, the Cameroonian.
He hasn't.
35 wins from his 39 fights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
But you know, he's coming at short notice. He's
we all,
about to face the biggest, test of his career. I can't see Joshua.
Are we all Joshua fans?
100%.
I like Joshua. Yeah. Well, I got a little quote here from Frank Bruno.
Okay, go on.
He says that the only way Joshua will be beaten by Carlos Takam is if he cannot motivate himself for the fight.
Yeah, I think complacency is the only real threat, isn't there?
And he's such a model professional, Anthony Joshua. I cannot see complacency coming into his game at all. I think it's an easy win for him.
I agree. Finally, we're going to do a little League Cup roundup. The games of there's a couple of games going on right now. Chelsea and Tottenham in action, both 0-0. Last night, Arsenal, Eddie Nketiah, really announcing himself to the Gunners faithful. 2 goals, scored within 15 seconds of being on the pitch. What a night for him.
Absolutely. It's what, dreams are made of,
It
really.
is.
So, yeah.
Really good to see him getting his chance. He's got a lot of goals at youth level at Arsenal. And it's good to see him taking his chance like that. Wasn't the best performance from Arsenal, but it was I think Wenger was quite disrespectful with the squad he picked. Playing players out of position, El Neni at centre-back. I think he sometimes shows a little bit too much disrespect. And he paid for it last year against Sheffield Wednesday, or maybe been the year before. Elsewhere, Wolverhampton taking Man City to penalties.
Well, I think they should teach the Prem how to do it. Taking them at Man City 120 minutes, sorry.
But we all know why it was, don't we? The mitre ball.
The mitre ball.
Oh, the mitre, yeah.
That was the reason they didn't
score.
score.
The mitre ball there.
A lot of time for Pep, but I'm not sure with a team of his quality, he can be blaming it on the ball there.
Yeah, didn't cover himself in glory there.
Man United winning 2-0 at Swansea. Leicester, another 3-1 win for Michael Appleton.
Yeah.
It's a good result.
Will now go back to being an assistant.
Yeah.
Bristol City, your boys, obviously with a 4-1 win. We've discussed that.
Yeah.
And Bournemouth in the hat for the next round.
Team of the Week.
This is our Team of the Week, where we pick the best players from the weekend's Premier League games. Goalkeeper Sam will take you through the shot stopper, Ollie through the back four, myself through the midfield, and we will share out the forwards. So, Sam, who's in goal?
The goalkeeper in our Team of the Week is Hugo Lloris.
Quite rightly.
Yeah.
Definitely a huge win for Tottenham over Liverpool, and what a performance from Lloris. Made an absolute wonder save from Philippe Coutinho.
You did have to convince me on that one though, didn't you? Because I questioned the Salah goal. I thought he should have come out and got it.
Yep.
But we went through the rest of the keepers and he was the best.
He was, yeah. And rightly so. So he's between the sticks in our Team of the Week. we think Lossell from Huddersfield deserves an honourable mention in their 2-1 win over Manchester United, and he earned himself an assist.
Very impressive. Right, Ollie, back four.
Back four. So we're starting off at right back with Kieran Trippier.
Another great performance.
He I think he used the space behind Moreno quite well. I think he exploited that Moreno was going to push forward. He assisted Kane for the opening goal, and he took the free kick, which led to the second Kane goal. So he was key part in both those goals.
Deserves his place.
One of the centre halves we got is Lewis Dunk.
Very
Obviously,
impressed.
A fantastic result for Brighton, winning 3-0 away to West Ham. He made, also with Shane Duffy, who had a good game, he made 11 clearances, both of them each.
Been really impressed with Dunk this season. I really like what I see from him.
Yeah, he stepped up well.
England call up.
Definitely.
The other centre half we've gone for is Nicolas Otamendi. Good result for City, expected, but he got a goal. Interestingly, in the game, he got a 95.2% pass success rate. And he
bit of a head case, but he played very well.
Yeah, and in the game, he made 114 touches on the ball, more than any other Manchester City midfielder and attacker. So
wow.
he had a lot on the ball.
Very impressive.
And left back, we've gone for Monreal, who obviously scored the equaliser, and I think was solid throughout.
Very solid. The back pass to Czech wasn't great, but
I think that was Czech's fault.
100%. Could have done better from there.
Definitely. Yep, I agree with that. Well done, Monreal.
All right, there's our back four. Midfield, we went for Andrew Sermon in the holding role. Had a great game, great result for Bournemouth. Really important result. He was really impressive. Got that opening goal.
Yep.
Alongside him, we went for Aaron Moy, who I thought was brilliant against Man United. A real driving force from midfield. He pressed really well and really intelligently.
Yep.
Got a goal, played very well. And our third midfielder is Kevin De Bruyne. I think we should just put De Bruyne in there before we start every week.
Yeah, he's got
amazing.
Top of the list, hasn't he?
Another amazing assist for Sane. The weight of passing. Every time he gets on the ball, you feel like something's going to happen. He is
absolutely amazing.
Best crosser of the ball in the world right now. I think he's brilliant. Right, we'll go through the forwards together. On the right side, I'll start us off here. We had Mesut Ozil.
Great game.
Really good to see him playing like that again. He on his day, he is a fantastic talent.
Yeah.
One of the technically most gifted players in the world.
Yeah.
And it's a shame sometimes the way he carries himself holds him back a bit. I think he's a real confidence player.
Yeah.
But really, really impressed with his performance. So creative.
Definitely.
Well, I got a good stat on the performance. Sorry, Sam. During the game, he made 8 key passes. This was double the whole of the Everton squad and for more than any other Arsenal player. So worthy of a man of the match performance, in my opinion.
He's very creative.
Definitely. Arsenal as a team were excellent. On to the next one, Glenn Murray.
Yeah.
Deserved his place.
Yeah, 2 goals.
Away brace.
Away brace.
Yeah, it's 5-7 against West Ham for him.
Really?
Yeah, found that out. And obviously, the last player we've gone for, I think he writes himself here. Harry Kane.
Unfortunately, it's pretty self-explanatory.
That's his 4th double of the season, and that's 45 goals in 2017 for Tottenham and England for him.
He was a real threat on Sunday. Liverpool
he looks
really
brilliant.
didn't handle him very well.
Yeah.
We've got some honourable mentions to go through here. Tommy Smith was unlucky to miss out. Van Dijk had a good game.
Yeah, very good.
Bruno was another good performance for Brighton.
Yeah.
Jamal Lascelles.
Yeah.
Very well for Newcastle.
Doing well on my fantasy team.
Yeah. Pedro, brilliant goal against Watford.
Oh,
amazing.
Lovely.
Ali played well. Batshuayi
2 goals.
off the bench, but we like to pick someone that's played 90 minutes. And Alexis Sanchez was back to his best at the weekend.
Definitely.
That was our team of the week.
Premier League predictor.
This is our Premier League predictor, the fast-paced prediction of Premier League games for the weekend ahead. 3 points for a correct score and 1 point for a correct result. We'll reveal them next week, the results. Here we go. Man United Spurs, I'm going 3-1 Spurs. Sam.
2-0 Spurs.
Ollie.
1-0.
Arsenal Swansea, I'm going 2-0 Arsenal. Sam.
2-0 Arsenal.
3-0 Arsenal.
Crystal Palace West Ham, I'm going 1-0 West Ham.
0-0.
2-1 Palace.
Liverpool Huddersfield, I'm going 3-1 Huddersfield. 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool.
Watford Stoke, I'm going 2-1 Watford.
2-1 Watford.
2-0 Watford.
West Brom Man City, I'm going 4-0 Man City.
4-0 Man City.
2-0 Man City.
Bournemouth Chelsea, I'm going 3-2 Bournemouth.
1-1.
3-1 Chelsea.
Brighton Southampton, the South Coast Derby, I'm going 1-0.
2-0 Southampton.
2-0 Brighton.
Leicester Everton, I'm going 2-0.
0-0.
2-0.
Burnley Newcastle, I'm going 2-0 Burnley.
1-1.
1-1.
Premier League predictor. We'll reveal them next week. That was the first episode of Let the Ball Do the Work. Thank you very much for listening. If you've got any constructive criticism or anything you want included in next week's show, if you want us to talk about your team, do tweet us at LTBDTW, the official Let the Ball Do the Work Twitter page. Thanks very much. See you next week.
See you later.
Thank you very much.